Good morning, YouTube. How are you today? It is, let's see if I can remember the day. I think it's Terrific Tuesday, where we try our best to try and have a terrific day. That's all we can do is try. And just try our best, even in really bad times when everyone is suffering. Here in Australia, I was listening to our Prime Minister speak last night, and I got really scared of the words he was using. For me, the words he was using was the words I got brought up as a teenager, that if governments used those types of words, they were bad governments. They just wanted to not help us lead ourselves into a brighter future. Regime and all these other words, and it's Anzac Day coming up, and I'm not getting into the politics of World War II, or I'm getting into the suffering and the personal fear. And what happened after World War II, and I'm really confused, guys. Like, you hear all this talk out there that the United Nations is a bad place, and I'll go, great. It's knowledge and words, isn't it? Knowledge and words don't usually join together too well. Okay, how do I get these words out of my head? Alright, here's a thought. Declaration of Human Rights was written in 1948. I've got the link down under this video, and please, 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 please click on the link, because it's so important that you click on this link at this moment, because the world is divided, and if you look at what's around today, the environment of today, it's not very much different than the environment before World War II. And we've got a chance whether we're going to work together as a whole world, or is one country going to go to war to claim victory and pride and forget all the years and lessons that we tried to learn from World War II. Because that's what the Human Rights Declaration is all about. It was all about a group of people from all over all the countries of the world getting together and writing out, like the Ten Commandments in a way, a guidelines and of how we as humans can live and share and care, and not suffer the horrors of war, or the horrors of poverty, or the horrors of self-isolation. Because that self-isolation was happening before this virus. It was happening to the homeless, it was happening to the refugees, it was happening to a lot of people. Not self-isolation, community isolation, sorry, I got that very much wrong. So, before I break down in tears, we hear everyone, I'm hearing a lot of complaints about the UN and how it was an organisation or a conspiracy theory of some Freemason group or whatever bloody group wants to be named as names of taking over and controlling the world and making us slaves and robots. But that already happened. That happened after World War II, as we can see today. We exchanged our freedom for wealth. And we did it without really knowing the effects of what it would do in a community sense. Just like back in the ancient days with slavery, and how much division it could cause and war. So we get back to this little Declaration of Human Rights. So when my nana was born, because in my family there's 5 generations of females. My granddaughter, me, my daughter. Oh, sorry, Jazz. My granddaughter, my daughter, me, my mum. She's really picky with stuff like that. My mum and my nana. 5 generations. Born before World War II to the last 2 years ago. Sorry, Aurora. My brain's still, it's getting there. When my nana was born, there was no refrigeration. I used to love the stories when I used to go down to their hotel and stay there in school holidays and hear her stories of her childhood. And my mum, I didn't hear much stories of her childhood. It was different. It was more, she had to work. She had to work a lot. She went to uni and worked and brought up a family. So she did really, I'm very proud of her. But it also missed out a lot of time that we could have had together. And maybe I could have learned a bit about her life, like I did my nan's. And then my daughter and me and my granddaughter. So 5 very different women, 5 very different generations, all centred around one declaration. And you look at that declaration and you go, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm glad to be born today. I'm glad to be born in part of these modern times where we understand that helping each other is so much more beneficial than using each other. And then you look around and it's not working. Something's not right. And that's knowledge in words. Because the words of the Human Rights Declaration sounds beautiful, sounds great. But the knowledge that works together or not work together is different. It's all divided. So when people complain of the United Nations and it's not working, we're actually complaining about ourselves, because the words are there, the words of freedom, of life, of how to live without greed and pride are there. No one just does it. So how do you explain that to my child? How do I explain to him that it's up to us to use our knowledge to make those words shine? Because I really don't know, and I'm really worried, because all that fear-mongering, all that labels, all those judgments, they're starting again. And we're not learning. We're not learning from our mistakes. And that's why Forgotten Years by Midnight Oil, I think you should read that while reading the Declaration of Human Rights, because that's why we got to stop blaming each other. That's why we got to stop dividing each other. That's why we got to stop saying it's your fault the world's this way. Because in a way it's all our fault. Because none of us, I'm not even living by the Declaration by Human Rights. You can't live by the Declaration of Human Rights in the way our society is built today. That's why we need to work together to change. So we've got 2 ways to go from here. We can either throw the arrows around and blame whoever we want to blame the United Nations, blame the World Health Organization, who have tried their damn hardest. They make mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we become better people, by making mistakes. But instead, we judge each other. I'm 47 years old. Most I do it to other people as well. I'll meet someone, they could be 60, 70 years old, 50, I might judge them in 10 seconds. I try very hard not to. I tell myself off all the time. But depending on what's going on in my personal life can affect my judgment of them. And I think that's what's happening with the United Nations at the moment, is it's a committee. It's all countries are supposed to be working together, not one country saying, we need help, come and help us, and then countries throw money at them and say, okay, but now you owe us. It should be more like, trying to get these words out properly, I don't like words, they can be cut and pasted so much, where knowledge is just life lessons. Knowledge can be abused too, gotta admit that. I mean, where was I? Oh, that's right. Instead, it's become just a platform. That's what it's become, just a handout platform of handouts and then ownership. Instead, it should be like we should, in our individual lives, help each other through our faults and flaws and guide each other. That's what the United Nations should be doing. Putting your country's pride out that door and working together as the United Nations. Because whatever happens in one country is going to affect another country. Just like whatever happens to the person next door is going to affect my life here. It's chain reactions of life. This is a big ramble, by the way. So I'll probably do another one on this because, I don't know. The words are out there, people. They really are. Why aren't we using them? Or why aren't we demanding our leaders to help us lead ourselves to use them? Or are all our lives just wasted, forgotten years? And we're still just slaves to another person. And freedom is just a word to control. But that's our choice. So, I probably will do another video later because this is damn depressing. And so I guess it's up to me, you, and everyone else to make it a bit more happier. So please read the Declaration of Human Rights, especially the last one, because the last article got me. It was like it's like the last line of the Bible, the last phrase in the Bible. I think it goes, whoever tries to change these words for self-control. Okay, I just lost the thought then. Alright, how can we end this on a happy note? So read the Human Rights of Human Declarations. Don't throw the United Nations out the door, because it's us. We are the government. The taxes that we pay are our money to help us have a healthy, brighter future. It's about time the small number of people that abuse that system understand that we don't want to take that anymore, and we're not going to fight, and we're not going to argue, and we're not going to mirror, because that would just give them an excuse to go to war. So please, people, share and care. It's more important than ever now. And our Prime Minister, don't use words like regime to justify your mistakes and your leadership skills. Because Australians, we might be light-hearted, but we're not stupid. And we're not nasty, and we don't want to. On a whole, most of us have come from countries where there's been great division by regimes. So please, Prime Minister, start working with us. Because I'm actually scared in Australia at the moment. We're on a fine line here, people. We're either going to choose share and care or divide and war. I choose share and care. How about you? Alright, heavy video. Thank you for listening. Bye.